Hey everyone, this is my review of American Horror Story Apocalypse, episode 9 called Fire and Rain, and essentially what this episode is about is that Michael goes to the cooperative to ask for their assistance in annihilating the world, and while that's going on, Cordelia and some of her girls have to go into hiding when their home is attacked. And this was a really interesting episode that definitely had a lot of really good moments to it, and I'm a little worried with how many plot sort of lines are still up in the open and we only have one episode left. So I'm very, very curious and worried to see what they're going to do in this last episode to sort of resolve everything that's now been set up. Everything with Michael and him finally attacking the school and stuff and really just tearing down Cordelia and all her girls and stuff was interesting to see with what it all revealed, where it turns out that Michael actually didn't kill all the witches, like it was hinted at, I think in episode 2 or 3, that he made the comment that he thought he got rid of them all, where it turns out that no, he didn't. He let like the 5 most powerful ones alive, and so that's very interesting how that all finally came to a connection and stuff of how they all sort of survived essentially. So now it's just the last little bit of seeing how they wiped Mallory and Coco's mind, and then how Madison, Cordelia, and Myrtle sort of made it through the end of the world and stuff. That's like the last little bit that needs to be shown. And so I'm very interested to see how all that plays out and stuff. But then everything with the witches and stuff was really great in this episode, with them continuing to try and find a path or a way or something to stop Michael and stuff, where now they've introduced the possibility of time travel. And how that was shown and stuff was really interesting, and I really did enjoy what they chose to do. Where they chose to make Anastasia a witch, and how she tried to prevent the mass murder of her family by the coup, by trying to use magic and stuff, but she wasn't in practice enough or powerful enough to do it on her own. So they chose to test out their time travel ability by sending Mallory back in time to try and help her, but how all that played out and stuff was interesting, and I'm very curious to see what they're going to do in the future to try and essentially fix the bugs that were left with her time travel and stuff, and how they're going to apply that to trying to stop Michael. I'm very curious to see how all like that's going to work out and stuff. And then everything with Michael was interesting and also left a bunch of sort of curious notes to me and stuff, where he is sort of looking for answers and stuff to figure out how to stop the world and all that. And now that he has this robotic Miss Mead back, what sort of intel and stuff she gave and stuff was interesting to try and help guide him. But I am very curious to know if what they showed Jeff and Mutt doing is a constant thing, where actually Miss Mead can't think for herself, that they need to be like constantly putting input of her answers and stuff, or if she has the ability to sort of create her own answers and stuff, because what they showed and stuff made it very confusing of like what is actually the computer thinking for itself to help Michael based on the input that they put, or what is actually just Jeff and Mutt getting Miss Mead to say what they want her to say. That really kind of confused me there of what was going on and stuff. And then with them actually finally introducing Michael to this cooperative and stuff was interesting, with how they chose to show it and all that different stuff, and I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with them in the future. And I definitely did find it interesting how they chose to put it, where the cooperative was originally the Illuminati, but because the fact that the name and the title and stuff of the Illuminati started to become too big, they decided to change themselves to be the cooperative instead, to sort of hide themselves again. And how Michael chose to approach that and how it was all shown and done and stuff was very interesting. And again, I'm very curious to see what's all going to happen to sort of get to where this season started with everything else and stuff. then just overall, this was a really entertaining and interesting episode. And again, I'm so worried and very curious to see what all they're going to do in just one episode to sort of resolve everything in this season. And I just don't feel like they can do it to a satisfactory sort of way, because there is so many plot lines and so much stuff that needs to be still set up and resolved and shown and stuff to get to where this season sort of started and also end where this season left off at episode 4 or 3 actually. And just everything just feels really like it's going to be very rushed and jumbled and stuff. And I don't want that, because this has been such a good season that I don't want the ending to be just a mess. And I feel like that's going to be what's going to happen, and I just don't know what they're going to do, and that really worries me. And just, yeah. So that's my review of American Horror Story Apocalypse, episode 9, called Fire and Rain. And just, yeah.